Pikachu Revolts is probably my favorite episode of the Orange Islands arc. It's impressive because, by most normal definitions, it is a filler episode. The only really important stuff that happens is some move reveals, and that's about it. There's no new captures, no badges earned, nothing like that. But even still, despite that, it gets job number 1 done, and that's being entertaining. And boy is it entertaining. This episode is great because of its sense of action and adventure. There's a lot of big moments, of twists and intrigue, of dangerous situations. It all gives the episode that extra oomph to keep an audience captivated. Take the first few minutes, Cassidy and Butch surveilling the kids. It's really intimidating, regardless of whether you know who these two are or not, and it builds a lot of intrigue to hook us in the first few minutes. Then after that, we get even more questions when we're at the dock and immediately see trainers being attacked by their Pokemon. The situation escalates very quickly, keeping the audience's attention before we get to the big reveal of Pikachu snapping. This is a wonderful twist reveal, giving this opening a massive climax only punctuated by the Magnemite attack and the Pokemon's disappearance. And just like that, the episode sets up everything it needs to keep you glued to your seat. It's so good. I think what really sells it is Pikachu's face here. This is a very sharp, almost scary face. It's incredibly striking to see Pikachu in this manner. Pikachu, our lovable mascot, conveys just so much malice almost entirely through visuals. It's wonderful. Speaking of the visuals, perhaps the greatest thing about this episode is its storyboard and animation, especially the storyboard. My god. This has got to be one of the best composed episodes of the original series, certainly the best episode of the second season. There's so many great poses, great facial expressions, fantastic framing, it's all delightful. Everything is either incredibly visually clean or incredibly visually appealing. It's impressive. There's so much good stuff here to list off. The previously discussed Pikachu intimidating scowl, Misty's annoyed face, Ghastly bursting through the door. There's a reason a lot of these cuts were used in Pikachu's jukebox. That's not even mentioning the finale, but oh boy, we'll get to that later. On top of the bones of the great storyboard, we have the animation, which serves as a great skin. Okay, I'm gonna drop that metaphor now. I wouldn't actually describe the animation as fluid, like is often said to describe good animation. I'd say what makes the animation great here is how fast and impactful it is. I love this shot of Ash doing the one-handed cartwheel, as well as this really stretchy shot of Team Rocket going through pipes. Both have this very clear visual direction that makes it both easy to follow and fun to look at, and it elevates the episode so much. Both of these, the fantastic storyboard as the frame and the animation to fill it in, work together to give all the action more excitement, the comedy more emphasis, and the danger more fear. This episode is one that takes wonderful advantage of its medium. This shouldn't be too surprising. The episode is a Yuji Asada joint. Those of you deeply familiar with the Pokemon anime staff will know that name. He's one of the early season's best storyboard artists, and this is one of his golden works. The animation director on this one is also a guy that does a lot of good work, Akihiro Tamagawa. Yeah, he's not as well-known and fan-beloved as the Sakuga King Matsuhiro Iwane, but he was Asada's main partner before Iwane, and you can see why. He's good at what he does. Now that I've sufficiently gushed on the visuals for now, let's shift back to the writing here. The scene at the police station does its job well, establishing the Ghastly, getting the gang up to speed on the situation and whatnot. Not sure why we're contacting Professor Oak here, but hey, at least this scene of Misty is nice. But this isn't what I want to talk about next. What I want to talk about is Team Rocket. The use of Team Rocket in this episode is another great mark towards it. Most episodes, but especially filler ones like this one technically still is, tend to use Team Rocket as a crutch to create artificial conflict in a story that's otherwise devoid of it.
I don't get it. Why didn't we do this from the beginning?
We have to fill a half hour.
The best episodes avoid this pitfall by either sidelining Team Rocket completely or integrating them fully in the plot. This episode takes the latter approach, and it works well. It was also a smart idea to use good Team Rocket, Biff and Cassidy, as the actual antagonists of the story. It's often easy to forget with how much of a non-problem our Team Rocket is, but this villainous organization is a real threat, and it's nice to be reminded of that every once in a while. They also use that angle to get a lot of comedy. The Team Rocket model off is easily the best joke of the episode. It is so well done. It's also very smart story and character-wise, giving our main Team Rocket a solid reason to join sides with the twerps. They both want to save Meowth, as well as personally not wanting to be upstaged by Cassidy and Boff. It's a very clean and elegant integration of them in the plot. Like with storyboarding, the use of good Team Rocket isn't unexpected due to the guy behind the script, Atsuhiro Tomioka. His big writing signature is his deep knowledge of the anime lore and his love of the callback, so bringing back Batch and Cassidy is definitely in his wheelhouse. But what makes it even better isn't just that he brought back these elements, but that he shows a deep integration and understanding of it. It's not just a fan service pull. They are out of jail because Giovanni personally bailed them out because of their quality work. The Drowsy is that powerful because of Belch and Cassidy's skills running the fake Pokemon daycare. Almost everything brought back in this episode is consistent with previous appearances. Well, except the whole Jessie potentially getting kicked out of Team Rocket thing, but I doubt Cassidy would know deep cuts from the Japanese radio dramas. As for some of the weaker elements, well, the way we get to the raid on the hideout is kinda clunky in multiple ways. Bench and Cassidy just kind of leaving Jessie and James out for any rando to find doesn't make sense. Them trusting the two when they have just about every reason to backstab them also doesn't make too much sense either. I can maybe understand it in the sense that they are overconfident and think whatever junk Jessie and James throw at them they can handle, but it's still not the most elegant way to get to the finale. All that said, I don't really mind that too much, as the finale is really great and more than makes up for the shortcomings of how we got here. There's even more of the great stuff that we've been talking about so far going on. The wonderful storyboarding animation continues here. Drowsy's really well animated here, these elemental projectiles look powerful and are also very well animated, and all the Pokemon look intimidating and overwhelming. Like I've said a lot so far, this episode is visually fantastic work. Back to the writing, one thing that I like that this finale does is that it does go for the power of friendship, I know you're in there thing to resolve the conflict. That's not an inherently bad thing to do for a simple kids show, and Pokemon itself uses it later, a lot, but for where we are in the show and where our characters' relationships are, this makes more sense. Yeah, Ash and Pikachu are on good terms right now and are generally very good friends, but they haven't reached that legendary destined pals forever point yet. Besides, this way of doing it is much more interesting, forcing Ash to actually use his physical abilities as well as his brains to solve this problem, which is much more satisfying for the audience. Once the hideout gets blown up, the strong action continues. The Drowsy is very intimidating in this part, helped yet again by the great storyboard. Cassidy and Bitch are also still very threatening, always feeling like they're in control of the battle and like they still have a chance to win. And I say all this just to flip out this part and to bury the lead, because we gotta talk about that ending. Oh boy, that ending. Man, I love this scene. It's my favorite part of the episode. Heck, my favorite part of the entire season. It's so well done. It feels so tense and exciting, it's so good. It feels like something made for a primetime TV show, not a kid's TV show. It's something out of Andor, not Pokemon. And this is 100% a storyboard thing. The script probably said something basic like, Drowsy uses metronome, Togepi copies, explosion. But Asada drew it up in such a way that makes such a simple event look so stellar and unique up against the rest of Pokemon's best. We're gonna have great battles, tons of action, grand legendary encounters that all look amazing. But nothing else in the show quite looks like this scene. A+ work, just fantastic. I laughed, I cried, it moved me, Bob. Overall, Pikachu Revolts is an episode that does everything it needs to right. It looks visually fantastic, both in composition and in animation. It's got great action, it has an interesting plot, it uses its characters well, it has just about everything you want. Pretty solid for a filler, eh? It just goes to show you that you don't need to make a plot that pushes the larger narrative forward to keep an audience interested. You just need to make a story in and of itself that's interesting, entertaining, and intriguing, and then present that story in a way that's absolutely captivating. This is an episode that accomplishes that in strides, and it sets a gold standard that all other similar episodes should also strive to achieve. So, yeah. Thank you for watching this video. This is sort of a new format I'm trying out here where I just kind of talk about a random episode of Anipoke, and I'm hoping that this kind of structure is one that gives me a good base where I can be able to make these efficiently and to where I can be able to make videos on a more consistent basis. And I'm hoping that you kind of like this format where I just kind of spill my guts out on these certain episodes. So hopefully there will be more to come over the summer with this series, as well as more to come with this channel here. So yeah, I hope you look forward to more stuff like this in the future. But yeah, for now, be sure to subscribe and check out the other videos on my channel. And until next time, bye.